Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2, I think, of the Inside the Ogre's podcast.
You've lost count at 2.
I don't know when this is going to go out. Fuck you.
Sorry, carry on.
Shall we try that again?
No, keep it in. This is gold.
Oh, this is gold, is it? Right.
Yeah.
So, as you might have guessed, this is Inside the Ogre's Cavern podcast. I am Barg the Ogre, aka Stuart, and you may have heard my guest already from his wonderful introduction. It is Graham Cheyne.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's lovely in here. I love what you've done with the place.
I know, it's great. I mean, it's much bigger on the inside than you think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I've always heard.
Okay. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We've been talking about doing a podcast together for a while. I've been listening to some of your old stuff from last couple of years that you've been doing recently, and I was like, I quite want to talk wrestling with someone. You're probably one of the best people I know to talk about wrestling with. And I know if you sort of drop in and out of wrestling every so often because that's the nature of wrestling. But I thought...
yeah.
But I thought it would be fun to sit down and maybe try and do semi-regular, maybe once a month, every couple of months, maybe even a quarterly or whatever, and just talk about the state of WWE and wrestling in general. I mean, most of my stuff comes from WWE, with a little bit outside of that, but I know you're more into some of the other promotions.
Yeah, my mate Sanj, our mate Sanj,
he's not yours. You don't get custody.
He's balls deep in New Japan right now. He loves it.
So it sounds about right. Kenny Omega.
Oh man, I'm taking it back. I'm saying he gets an erection every time he's even the mere mention of Kenny Omega, and he just goes off on one.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like Sanj, to be honest. We love you, Sanj. Please come on the podcast. It'd be great.
Yeah. Please with me as well. That'll be great fun.
No, I mean, I New Japan is not something that I've really been aware of, other than recently, since like Cody Rhodes has been out there and Chris Jericho went out there. But like, I pretty much just stick with WWE. And I was watching one of the highlights of this week's Raw, and I was looking at it going, there's some stuff that WWE is getting really right, and there's some stuff that it's getting really wrong, and there's some stuff that is just slightly off, but could be fixed. And I thought, I'll get Cheyn, we could sit down, however many hundreds of miles away we are from each other, and just sort of go over what the state of WWE is at the moment, up until this point this year, and maybe sort of see if we sort of agree on some things or disagree on some things. So that's the plan.
Can I just interrupt for a second, Stu? When
you
said,
please.
Oh, no matter how like couple of 100 miles away we are from each other, I instantly thought, are you not still in Edinburgh?
No, dude, I'm in Cambridge.
I fucking forgot you.
I've been in Cambridge for nearly 10 years.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Time flies, eh?
10 years, wow.
10 years.
That's a very squeaky chair you've got.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah,
no, I'm sitting on
you
a
give me the
sofa.
bad seat in here.
Yeah, well, I've not got much of a budget.
No, no, I can tell from my setup right here.
Right, so I think we're like 2 weeks away from Money in the Bank, which is probably the first of the real, not so much, real sort of relatively important
Well, it's the new
pay-per-views.
Big Four, isn't it?
I think it's sort of become one of the new Big Four, yeah. I mean, the Big Four obviously being WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Well, maybe is it now the Big Five, maybe? Because obviously originally it was Mania, Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam.
Yeah, but now it's like, what? Money in the Bank, Mania, Rumble, and SummerSlam.
Yeah, because Survivor Series seems to have fallen by the wayside. And Survivor Series was always one of my favourite pay-per-views. I used to really enjoy the Survivor Series. I cannot explain why. I just felt it was the best one.
Nobody can. They just remember it from their youth.
Yeah.
Everyone had a video at some point of like 4 guys on one side and 4 guys on the other.
Yeah, I remember like I think it was like Hogan and some other people and like Coco Beware or whatever, and Jake. I don't know. Like I have very vague memories. Like I didn't really get into wrestling properly until I must have been like 99, like the end of 99, start of 2000, just before WrestleMania.
I think we went back into it like at the same time then, if that's the
Yeah.
case.
So like because I remember I started hanging out with you guys, and then you started talking wrestling. I was like, "Ooh, wrestling! What's this?" And someone loaned me the Rumble from that year, the one when Foley took on Triple H.
Did they buy it? Like, was it on DVD or something?
Well, there wasn't DVDs back then. It was like video.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So it was like And that was we're talking nearly 20 years ago, and someone loaned me it, and I was just remember like that was the first that was the one that sort of sparked my main interest, and I was like watching. I remember watching Triple H versus Mick Foley and thinking, "Oh my God, I love Mick Foley. I really want Triple H to die."
Yeah, we all hated Triple H, apart from Sanj.
Love you, Sanj.
Yeah.
So obviously wrestling has changed quite a lot since then, and like my fandom has come and gone, as it were. So I'm not going to go in too much into it because I know you don't like it when I start talking about CM Punk. But Punk.
How do I not like it? I think he's all right.
I don't know. You always seem to sort of look. I always feel that when I start going off about CM Punk, you just go fanboy.
Well, he's the Kenny Omega of the last generation. It's exactly that. He hates everybody. Well, no, I don't think Kenny Omega hates everybody, but
no, I think Kenny Omega seems to be sort of like the trendsetter.
Yeah, and like people always tend to like put a lot of like pressure onto these wrestlers. Like before it was CM Punk, then it was Daniel Bryan as well for a bit, and now it's like Kenny Omega and Cody, where it's just like you're the voice of the people, and it's like, are they though, or are they just guys trying to wrestle?
Yeah. I think you're right. Like, I mean, I think there's always going to be that sort of thing where people will flock to someone because with the way it is at the moment, with WWE having this huge domination of the industry, which we're only just starting to see completely different sort of promotions coming in, like with the promotion of New Japan and Ring of Honor starting to make a little bit of a resurgence, and from what I hear, Impact is still around.
Yeah. But it's struggling.
Yeah, and I've stopped. I gave up on Impact a long time ago.
I think Impact gave up on Impact a long time ago.
Yeah, the whole kerfuffle with Anthem and...
Fuck that owl.
Okay.
Keep it PG, that's what you said.
Well, that's your one. There you go.
Yeah. No, I want to say penis.
Well, there goes that one as well.
Well, like, I got to say, the reason why I want to say penis is because, have you watched Enzo Amore's rap song yet?
No, I haven't. I've seen it exists and I went, oh no.
Oh my God, I watched it first thing in the morning and I got to say, it made my day. I have been walking around with a smile on my face the whole day. I've been singing it to Chloe.
Hold on a second, so you've been walking around singing...
penis, yeah.
Singing penis,
yeah.
Enzo Amore's penis.
Right, so... maybe you might want to give some backstory about Enzo Amore before I make the...
Well, I mean, if you want to give
comments.
backstory, you're more than welcome.
Okay. Enzo Amore is basically a twat, and he got himself into a situation where a girl accused him of rape. And what happened after that was WWE fired him because he kept it quiet from them for a couple of months, and he was winding up the locker room all the time, and so WWE cut ties with him, and he has been silent for about 2 months now while the allegations kind of sort themselves out. Turns out there's not enough evidence to prosecute, so now he's decided he's going to make this rap album. And it's the first song he's made is called Phoenix, which is two things. It's double meaning because he's rising up like a phoenix, and the
Someone set him on fire.
No, well, you would hope, but the rape itself happened, or allegedly happened in Phoenix, and so the video is Enzo Amore rapping for like 2 or 3 minutes, but there's a line in it where he just keeps going, grabbing my consensual penis, and I just think,
it's not the worst rap line in the world. But...
I know, but it's just, who says consensual penis? Would you like some consensual penis, dear? Oh, yes, please.
Oh,
it's just,
man.
It's car crash. It is so bad. I love it. I really do. It's hilarious, but for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, man. Okay, so bringing it back slightly to what we were trying to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to swear anymore now.
Yeah, well, that's you've essentially blown your load. All right, so how much of WWE and wrestling as a whole have you been keeping up with at the moment? Like, I mean, I'm sort of in and out and sort of very sort of casual, follow the storylines ish, and I know who I'm drawn to.
I've watched most of the episodes of Ride Along.
Oh, I mean, that's going to tell you how it's going on in the shows, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I listen to audio podcasts each week. I listen to about 3 of them, so I got a gist of the story through the TV shows, but I just can't watch them, Chief. They're just 3 hours long. And the pay-per-views. I watch all the pay-per-views, but I just can't watch the TV shows anymore unless it's in like bite-sized chunks because it's just too painful.
I find that this is something we'll talk about probably later on. Maybe we will talk about this straight now. It's like, what is something that WWE is doing wrong at the moment? And I feel that the length of the shows and the amount of content that they are firing at us, or the wrestling public in general, is just too big. Like, this Raw is 3 hours, SmackDown is 2, which is better. NXT is an hour, is it? Is it now?
Yeah, it's an hour.
And then 205 Live is an hour.
That's on top of SmackDown as well because they're filmed at the same time.
Yeah, they're filmed at the same time. Then you've got the pay-per-views, which Mania ran, 6 hours?
Aye.
From pre-show to not even pre-show. There was the build-up show, then the pre-show before the actual card started, then the actual card, and then the after show. And like it's just too much. Yeah. And I know they've got to fill content on the network, and that's fine. But I feel that if you're going to do that, you need to sort of I don't have the time to be sitting watching Booker T talk about how great Titus O'Neil is.
Oh, shocky ducky, the thing right here.
Like Titus O'Neil falling over filled like 20 minutes of content. They must have been delighted. And they've put out YouTube videos about it. They've put out interviews about it. Just going, guys, we don't need all this analysis of this stuff. Just show me the show. Show me some quality wrestling. Don't spend forever doing it. It frustrates me that Raw is so long. Yeah.
But there's kind of good news and bad news with that though, because now that WWE have just signed a deal with Fox.
Yes, that was it's a huge deal as well.
Oh. Yeah, and they are now going to be showing SmackDown. So the odds are they're probably going to say, right, well, we can jump SmackDown up to 3 hours. Or they'll just say you can have 205 Live as well. But they're like, I don't think SmackDown's going to be 2 hours for much longer.
No. I feel like SmackDown's actually much more palatable at 2 hours. And I feel with the shake-up that they did and everything that came out of that, I felt SmackDown actually got the better end of that shake-up in terms of roster.
Oh yeah, because they got screwed over in the last one.
And keeping it 2 hours, that's fine. Like they have enough of a roster there to make 2 hours work. But I feel like 3 hours on Raw, like specifically after the shake-up, you're sitting going, it's not really like everything just seems a bit off kilter.
Oh, I sneezed. Sorry.
Okay.
Off kilter. No, we'll keep that in. It's cool. Come on now. Podcast of the Year award.
Yeah. We're gonna get a whatever it is, a poddy. Is it a poddy?
Yeah, why not? We'll make one. We'll call it a poddy. I'll buy the trophy myself.
It'll just be 3 peas in a pod.
Fuck's sake.
Right.
So off kilter.
Yeah, it just feels unbalanced to me. And 3 hours, it's just too long. Like to then switch around to some of the things I think is going well with WWE and is doing really well is NXT. And NXT on a weekly basis is an hour-long show. It's tight. It's telling a story.
It's recorded.
They plan ahead. They give the guys enough time to recover from the performances. So they're not constantly on. Like they are touring, but they're not being worked to the bone.
And they're not used every week either.
So you want to see the people more. And the quality of the storyline, like the Ciampa Gargano storyline. I don't know how to say his name. Ciampa? Is it Ciampa? Ciampa. I don't know. All I know is how William Regal says it, and he always gets everything wrong. Umanga.
Yeah.
Umanga.
I like William Regal though. He's one of the guys that is.
I think he's vastly underrated.
He's one of the best things for them because like he's done shitty things and he's almost. I think did he get fired? Or did he get suspended?
I think he got suspended. He got suspended when he first arrived.
Right. Was that when he was a man's man?
When he was a real man's man. And then he essentially went away, got clean, and came back as William Regal. And that's when he was like really, really, really good.
And then he got busted for something. Painkillers, was it? Or
I thought he got ill. I thought he got
No, he got busted and then he got ill and then he came back after that.
because he had like malaria or something crazy.
He did.
And he nearly died, and then he came back and he had. I watched it recently. Actually, it was an amazing promo during the time when he was either the GM or in a position or commissioner or something like that. And it was when Triple H was messing with Eugene, and he was like standing up for Eugene, and it was an amazing promo about how he they were both both born naughty, which is where that came from. Because it's like you and me were the same cloth. We're both born naughty, but you do not mess with Eugene. That's unfair. And it's a great promo. And he's fired up and everything like that. And I don't know even what the match was afterwards, but like just goes to show you just how good he was. When
do you know when I was upset was when he took the title, he took the Intercontinental title off of Santino Marella. I think it was him because you had the honkometer and all that stuff, and then he did a show in England. And I was like, no, I love the honkometer. I want to keep going. I want to get to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record. And then William Regal wins it to like a couple of claps because everyone loved Marella. And they're like, yeah, hometown guy.
But didn't like the honkometer like got obviously the Honky Tonk Man's reign was like what 4 years? He didn't even get like 3 months into it, did he? He didn't get really very far into that whole gimmick, and then it just went, oh yeah, we're not good.
Was it not like 56 weeks or something?
No,
like that?
I don't think he held it that long. Hold on.
Oh, hang on. You've done this to me before, Stu, so I'm going to go online.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Google will answer this.
I'm going to Google it, yeah. I'm going to have to do the audio search because I'm not typing.
Okay. Well, I will just fill this dead air by.
Oh no, it's Honky Tonk Man. There you go.
Well, Honky Tonk Man had it for like 4 years. I'm pretty certain. And then
let's have a look.
How long? I don't know how long Marella had it for.
He didn't have it. He had it for like maybe a quarter of that.
Yeah, so didn't have it for very long at all.
Oh, it's just brought Honky Tonk Man, which was recorded by Johnny Horton.
God damn it, doesn't your Google know what you want?
I know. Oh God, keep filling, Stu.
Okay. So NXT at the moment, I think, is in terms of all-round performance, one of the best things that WWE are putting out at the moment. And I kind of feel that it actually hurts them in a way, because when they're coming up to show the big shows, which are like Mania and so forth, and they have the NXT takeovers the night before. So on the Saturday night, you have the NXT takeover, and they put together such a great show. Like there's been several years where I feel like I watch NXT takeover and I watch WrestleMania. I'm like, well, WrestleMania was bad because it had to follow up NXT, and NXT was so solid. Like there's been certain NXT takeovers which I feel have ruined the following pay-per-view because it's you compare the two and you're just like, I wish they'd just done another NXT show.
Yeah. Can I just have the NXT show be 5 hours instead of...
Yeah, can you not just do that on the main roster? And I think that's sort of, like I said, it's a weird complaint to have when you're saying your show is so good it's ruining the main show. But like that's how I feel. Like I'd much rather watch an NXT, a more expanded NXT show than what you would get on Raw. Unless there are some things on Raw and SmackDown that I do enjoy, but NXT just seems to have and every time NXT loses people to the main roster, they just somehow manage to find or put people into positions where suddenly like you don't miss them anymore.
Do you think it's because they've always got people spare behind the scenes that they know is good, but they're not going to use them yet?
No, I don't know. I think it's one of these things where like they seem to have developed this atmosphere in NXT where people are always wanting to go out there and do better. So when that spot opens up, so when Finn Balor moves up, or when Samoa Joe moves up, or when Kevin Owens moves up, or when Sami Zayn or Sasha Banks or all those people have moved up, you then get the Adam Coles coming in, you have the Ricochets coming in, they find these guys and they give them that opportunity, and NXT has become that doorway for people who have been on Lucha Underground or TNA or whatever.
Well, like who's the guy now? What's his name? Ricochet.
Yeah, I just said that, Ricochet.
Oh, did you? Sorry, man. I'm too busy trying to figure out what 454 divided by 7 is. 64 weeks. There you go.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that's so funny.
64 weeks the Honky Tonk Man had it for.
Oh, so 64 weeks there. How long did Morella have it then?
I think he had it for like
3 weeks.
I want to say like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Something like
didn't
that.
get anywhere close to it. So,
yeah, I can't remember.
Well, that was worth it.
Yeah. It would have driven me mad.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. NXT, I would say it does kind of hurt WWE in that respect, especially when they put shows side by side.
Yeah.
And the guys in NXT are much more hungrier than WWE guys. But that kind of, like, there are people in WWE that it does light a fire underneath, because there's people like Miz, there's people like Rollins, I don't like to say it, but probably Roman Reigns as well.
We'll get to Roman Reigns later.
They do get pissed by that, and they want to do better, and they want to go, right, I can do just as good as that, if not better. And they can. They know they can.
Yeah.
But it's when you've got too many cooks in there, you've got so many goddamn producers, because you've got so much content to cover.
Yeah.
That everything just kind of gets. It's a volatile mixture right now, and they're struggling to get it together.
Yeah, because I mean, I know that the ratings have dropped quite considerably recently. Like, both shows have been posting particularly low numbers, and I know that's been a trend for a while now. And I think it doesn't help them that these shows are so long, and finding the bits that you want to watch in those shows is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the guys who are coming up. And there's another frustration in that sort of thing when you get those guys who are coming up from NXT, guys who are great in NXT, but they get to the main roster and they get lost. The number of really talented, quality guys who make that jump and then are just disappear. Like the Ascension did great guns in NXT, but then just disappeared.
Yeah, it just wasn't translating when you've got a big crowd of people that don't care who you are, and they've been sitting there for hours. And let's be fair, there's a lot of people at the main shows that are apathetic. I mean, they're not as normal. WWE shows aren't as rowdy as British WWE shows.
No, definitely
because their fans are younger, and there's a lot of people that see them every other week or so. Like, oh, what's this? Another circuit of like New York, or another circuit of Corpus Christi, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like they just don't care. They see it too often. And I'll be honest with you, dude, that I went to a live show, I think maybe a year ago, I think it was, over a year ago, and it stunk. It was horrible.
But I think the last show I went to see was, oh goodness me, must have been about 3 or 4 years ago. It was literally just before Punk left, and it was when Punk and Daniel Bryan were on the same roster. Well, I don't think the brand split had happened again, but it was Daniel Bryan was facing off against the Wyatts, and CM Punk was facing off against the Shield. And whatever happened during the main event, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan were tagging up against one of those factions, and then the other faction came down to get them after, and then CM Punk and Daniel Bryan both ran out of the ring, and then you had this sort of showdown between the Shield, who at that time were sort of not quite moved to full face yet.
It was like right at the start of their
their turn, yeah. And then you had the Wyatts, and the atmosphere when those two threesomes were in the ring, everyone's going, oh my god, we're about to see absolute
right.
And I think it was just absolutely amazing to be there for that. And then, like I said, they didn't do it, and I think for the next couple of shows afterwards, they went, yeah, we're not gonna give you what you want. It's like, guys, come on, you've got to give us something. And like I said, I haven't really, certainly since Punk left, I haven't really watched wrestling as much. And then when Daniel Bryan retired and the way that played out, I was like, I'm done. There's no one really who draws me in anymore. And there's a couple of guys now who I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe. I got very excited when Samoa Joe turned up. So like, oh, I love Joe. He's great. He's an amazing monster heel. And he can talk, and he can go, and he can do everything.
Oh, he's been putting Roman to shame recently with his promos.
There is again, this will come up again because we'll probably talk about Reigns in a minute. Because I think there is a big aspect of what do you do with a problem like Roman.
We all know it's just Vince doesn't want to, because
Exactly.
he hates people telling him what to do.
Yeah, and like I'm starting, like Braun Strowman after the start, I was like, I'm not so sure about this. He looks like another big guy, and he started to come out and really take leaps and forwards in terms of actually performing. And yeah, he does some schlock every so often and some stupidness, like the whole thing at Mania when he won the title with a kid. But it was silly.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't great, but it was still funny. Like, and yeah, they instantly went, yeah, we'll hold our hands up here. We'll take the titles off them straight away. We're not going to have you watching a kid defend the WWE titles.
I think me and Sanj were talking about that, and we fantasy booked. Can you imagine if John Cena was still in the crowd, like he hadn't had his match or something like that,
before he completely ruined the end of the streak.
Roman's looking around, looking for random people, and he's like, "How about you?" And it's just fucking John Cena.
Or just John Cena with his hand up going, me.
I'm finishing this one beer that I've been stretching out for 3 hours.
Someone's put up a picture after that, or a video just after he ran off the thing, going he's just off to the back to change that beer he's been nursing for how long. I went, nah. His car's been towed. They've been chasing him since 2007 after he did that NASCAR entrance. Do you remember there was one of the Manias where he entered in a NASCAR where he crashed through this big glass window?
Oh, that was when I wasn't watching wrestling.
I was sure I was watching it with you at that time, but I might be wrong. I'm sure we watched it together.
I was there for the gangster CM Punk entrance
he had.
Yeah,
I remember.
I
watched that together. Yeah.
And then I was there for all the John Cenas waving their hands in front of him.
Oh, that was creepy.
But I never saw the NASCAR one. No,
it was definitely a NASCAR. I don't remember when I remember watching it, but I don't know when.
Was he against Del Rio or some shit?
No, it was before then. It was way before then. It doesn't. Well. It might have been against Shawn Michaels, actually.
No, hang on. Do you want to fill the air?
I'll fill some more. So let's talk about the elephant in the room and talk about Roman Reigns, because there's a big problem with Roman Reigns, and I feel it's a problem he's inherited from John Cena, but John Cena actually seems to be a relatively nice guy, and I fully respect Cena because he does a lot of work. He is a workhorse. With Roman Reigns, I don't feel he has that other side to him. So when he's out there doing his thing and not getting the same he's getting the same reactions as Cena. Whereas Cena, I go, well, no, because Cena puts the effort in. But I feel like with Roman Reigns, he's just almost checked out now.
Is it that he's checked out, or is it that he's so aware of his image? And
because at the start, it was they forced it so hard and so hard and so hard. And now they keep trying to sort of roll back, and they're like, yeah, we don't care. I don't care about this reaction. Or they're trying to move towards that tweener. I'm a good guy and a bad guy. I'm back to that whole I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the good guy. I'm the guy. And it's like, you don't play cool with it when you're clearly not. Yeah.
Like John Cena, say if John Cena turns around to Roman Reigns and he goes, right, I'm going to give you some advice. And he goes run, Forrest, run, for example. But it's not Forrest Gump he's telling that to. It's some guy that doesn't have any legs or anything like that. He's telling Roman Reigns to just do what he does and be confident on the mic and let the guys do what he does. But there's just something wooden about him. There's something that just doesn't... There's nothing likeable other than his looks.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sure Roman is a nice enough guy. And he's clearly working hard, but I feel like Vince is too much in his ear.
Oh, aye, absolutely. But he just doesn't want to say, can I do this or can I do that? And we would know if he wants to do something else, because there'd be a change in attitude, there'd be a change in the way he does things, but there's not. It's just been consistently the same thing over and over again. The only problem is there's less suffering succotash.
Yeah, I mean, his promos have definitely got better. And it's not that he doesn't wrestle great matches. He has had some good matches with people.
Oh, yeah, he has. Can I just interfere here for a second? WrestleMania 23.
WrestleMania 23. What year was that?
I was 23.
You were...
No, I was 22. So it would have been what?
It would have been about 2005 then.
06.
06. I was close with 2007.
Yeah, I think 06. But it was a black car. It wasn't necessarily a NASCAR. I think it was I don't know, a Viper or some shit. I'm just looking at the picture of it.
Okay, well, there was definitely a car involved.
But he did smash through glass because it's got all that fake glass all over it.
Yeah, so the joke about... We've essentially just padded out 5 minutes to get to a punchline, which has been ruined. So,
what was the punchline?
The punchline was that the whole idea... When he came down... When the ref came down... Oh, I'm really ruining this joke now by explaining it. So, when you... John's in the ring. John's sitting at the side with his warm beer and all the people who have been told specifically not to touch him. And the ref comes down and the commentators are all talking about how he's telling him. And Cena's like, what? And then he jumps over the ramp, jumps up over the ring barrier. And runs up the ramp, completely stepping on top of Asuka's streak being beaten and Charlotte's big win, and runs up the ramp. And he's not running because the Undertaker's there. He's running because the police have finally caught up with him after that 2006 crash through a window in that big car, and his car's been towed.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that pity laugh. It was funny.
I get it all the time. It's all right. It would have been a better joke if it was like the 100 people that you paid to pretend to be like you want their money now, and then he just, ran off or some shit like that.
Oh, they've finally come to collect.
I saw one which was a gif, and it was like the referee saying to him, and it was like marriage, commitment, and it just got him standing up and running away.
So close to the bone.
Apparently they're back together now.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've definitely heard that.
John Cena and Nikki Bella, and if you don't know. But everyone that's going to listen to this fucking knows wrestling anyway, so...
Well, it depends if everyone actually listens to it. Hi, Sanj, how's it going?
Hey, Sanj will totally listen to this.
Sanj loved the draft. And we are working on a follow-up to the draft because the draft results have come in. We obviously know what happened with Infinity War.
Yeah.
So that will all come out. Although the results have been spoiled on another podcast. But I'm not going to tell you the podcast, so you can't go and find them.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense.
Yeah. So see, marketing. Managed.
Oh, I'll tell you what, have you got the network?
The
WWE network?
No, I don't have the WWE network.
Right, well, I have the WWE network. I've had it for years, and I've been paying for it, but I let, Sanj and that use it.
Yeah.
And
that
so,
must feel dirty.
I said a couple of months ago. I said a couple of months ago, I was like, I'm thinking of getting rid of it because I'll just download the pay-per-views if I want them, illegally, blah, 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 naughty. But Sanj was like, no, man, think of all the extra content that you get. You watch Table for Three, don't you? You watch Ride Along. You like watching all the old stuff, don't you? And I was just like, yes, Sanj, I do. And in my head, I'm like, this fucker's just wanting me to keep paying for it so he doesn't have to. Yeah, that's right, Sanj. I know your game.
He's deceptively persuasive.
Yeah.
With his massive digger hands.
Right, so I'll tell you about this as well. We'll get back onto Roman Reigns and whatnot.
Oh man, I was going to give you a proper intro, but I've just literally I remembered the intro I was going to give you.
Oh,
but
okay.
you stepped all over it with your giggling because I forgot what number of episode this was. I am so upset. I literally today I was like, I need to think of an intro because the part of the shtick for the show is that when I introduce people, I'm going to give them a little bit of a build up.
Oh, and right.
I was walking to pick up my mini kaiju, which is my son for
nice name, nice
yeah,
nickname.
Yeah, I don't want to give out his name just in case in the future he listens to this and gets embarrassed or whatever because things go on the internet and then. Whatever.
Oh, we're staying that quiet with the family, are we?
Pretty much.
Right. Okay. Just as well. I can't remember.
That's fine, man. That's exactly ignorance is bliss, man. So that's why I refer to him as the mini kaiju because he's essentially a little monster who just goes around destroying.
That's a nice name. I like that.
Yeah,
have you got a wee monster outfit for?
Oh yeah, we've got loads of monster outfits. Lots of
awesome.
dinosaurs.
Do you watch Pacific Rim? Did you watch the second one?
I haven't watched the second one. I wasn't that keen on the second one, and we don't have time to watch movies.
Oh, the second one's good.
Is it though?
Yeah, I loved the first one, but the second one is just much more just fun. It's much more fun.
No. We don't get much time, obviously now because we've got the mini kaiju. We don't have as much time to go see movies. We sort of try and fit things in when we get visits from the parentals and such. So Infinity War was a major one we went to see. Deadpool 2 we got to see.
Oh, I watched Infinity War, and there was maybe 30 people in there, and this was the day that it got released. And it was the 8 o'clock showing, and it was only not even half full. And I'm like, fuck, I'm worried about this. I'm really worried about this if it's not selling.
It's creeping up on 2 billion.
Well,
it's
Perth.
Last I checked, because I do, maybe a week ago, it was about 1.89 billion.
Totally deserves it. It's an amazing
movie.
The best thing about it is
Thanos?
Thanos is just absolutely unbelievable. It's his movie. Tony Stark, stick him in it and stick Thanos in it, and I would have been happy.
I went to see it in IMAX, and do you know the one thing that I know? There's a couple of things I noticed. First of all, there's a point early on where you see him putting the space stone into the gauntlet, and you see the hairs on his arm.
Spoilers.
Yeah. But hold on, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna this is something we're gonna talk about right now. It is what, three weeks since the movie launched. There is that we are past spoilers now.
3 weeks? I thought it was 2 months. When did I watch it?
It came out at the start of May, didn't it? Or the end of April. Maybe it's 4 weeks. I don't know, man.
Times mean nothing.
Time means nothing to me anymore. I don't know what day it is.
Right, so carry on, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a point in the IMAX where you can see his the hairs on his arm up. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I don't know why I noticed this, because it was just really weird, and I noticed it in like the middle of the movie, that you could see his elbow skin, and it looked really, really detailed. I was like, man, the detail on his elbow skin's amazing. Thank God we're not seeing his testicles.
Testicles! Do you remember when Tony Stark said, when he was like, oh, was it Tony Stark or was it Chris Pratt?
It was Star-Lord.
Yeah, and he was just like, oh, he didn't call him ball bag. What the fuck did he call him?
He called him his big ball chin.
That's it.
Ball sack chin or something like that. But anyway, coming back to from the tangent, I was going to intro you.
Yes.
So when I was going to intro you, I was going to say, and here's my friend. He was the other half of the defensive partnership, legendary partnership of the Chino Heed.
Oh, Lachino
Heed when we played in the schoolyard in the school.
And you'd get heaters.
I got all the fucking heaters because I had a fucking 50p forehead. You didn't know where it was going to go.
Oh, that was like a chocolate coin. It wasn't a 50p. That thing was massive. That was when you had your big afro, wasn't it?
No, the afro came much later.
And it broke in half.
Yeah, it did.
Because it was so big.
Yeah.
Jermaine, you got shat on by a bird.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a great day.
That was a great day, yeah. Well, I was lucky. I don't know what happened. Anyway, let's get back to wrestling.
That's apparently meant to be good luck, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good luck.
I got shat on once when I was walking down the Inch, which is the park in Perth, but yeah. You guys know that.
But it wasn't by a bird, though. It was just by a random passerby.
Yeah, it was terrible. They caught him, though.
Yeah, well, Sanj apologised, at least. That's good.
It wasn't consensual, penis.
Should we get back to wrestling?
Yeah, your intro, was that it? Was the Latino
that was literally that was it. That was it. Just introduce you as the other half of the legendary.
Oh wow! Defensive. I thought you were going to give me like a massive Kevin Smith intro where like you suck my dick for like 5 minutes. No, and then I'd be like, no, it's okay, man. Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, I wasn't going to give you that.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to talk about what we used to call ourselves when we were kids.
Yeah.
So I've talked about some of the things that I think that would be doing right and doing wrong. What do you think?
What do I think they're doing right?
What do you think they're doing right?
Oh, well, it would have been great if I'd made some notes for this.
Yeah, I sort of put mine together this evening very quickly.
Yeah.
I've cleared out my rights already. NXT is pretty much it.
Yeah, I was eating pizza in a bedroom, which I do not recommend. My flatmate was playing Rock Band in the living room. I thought, yeah, on you go. We'll just eat our dinner in the bedroom. And I regret it. It just stinks to high heaven of pizza. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I've got a couple of scented candles which I make I make my own candles now. That's my hobby now that I'm an old man.
I thought is this now the new hobby after podcasting? Podcasting is to put aside, now it's candles.
Yeah, exactly. You wanted me to put some plugs in, so I'm plugging Graham Cheyne's candles. They're all right, mostly purple, but
they're all right, mostly purple.
If you've got £5 in an empty Doritos dip jar, you're welcome.
Do you know what it's like? We're talking about Thanos' ear. They're all right, and they're purple.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I'm actually proud of this candle. I'm smelling it right now. You can't see that. No,
I can't.
Right, so
this is gold, mate. This is absolutely brilliant. Not regretting this at all.
This is gold.
It's like wrangling fucking cats.
It's a nice.
And we've not even spoken about our cats yet.
No, and we will do it at some point. I'm getting a second one. Did you know?
Yeah, you told me.
I told you. Did I tell you what I was going to call it? I did, didn't I?
You did, but I've forgotten what it's called.
I was going to call it Shabba.
Oh, yeah, Shabba.
Yeah, so whenever I shout at it, I'll go, Shabba!
And then everyone around you will just go, Mr. Loverman.
Yeah, exactly. That's her surname. She's going to be called Shabba Loverman.
But Mr. Loverman.
No, Shabba Loverman. She's a Mrs. So it'll be Mrs. Shabba Loverman. Aye, that's a cracking name. Right, things that I like about WWE. Okay.
They've got a great logo.
Do they though?
No, not really.
Okay, focus, Cheyn. Focus. I can do this.
You can do this. You can do this.
I like the bar. I think Cesaro and Sheamus, I like what they're doing, but I don't think they're being used as well as they could be.
No, that's one of the ones that's sort of another aspect of my what's going wrong, but we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, I like NXT.
Yeah, I mean NXT
that's a given now.
Such a long time. It's been very, very good.
Yeah, I like Seth Rollins right now. I think he's doing really well.
I think he's in a great position because he can have the best match on the show
when the crowd they're hot.
Yeah, and he's like every time you sort of see him having a match, he just has a great match. Although I'm getting really confused because there's a bunch of them that are using the same moves: the blockbuster and the sling blade.
Yeah, Sling Blade's getting used a lot.
Sling Blade's constantly being used by Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. And
what the hell's a blockbuster?
The blockbuster, it's what Buff Bagwell used to use. What's his name?
Right. Is that not... Oh.
Bobby Roode uses it.
Is that the thing where he jumps off the second rope and does like a cutter from up around your head?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And Bobby Roode does it as well.
Oh, yeah. Bobby Roode's been doing that for a few years, though.
Yeah, Bobby Roode.
I like Elias. I think he's really good, and I'm surprised that they don't... Oh, wait, no, they just... they just had him hitting Seth Rollins with a guitar recently, didn't they? Right, well, good. Keep going with that. That's really good stuff.
Like, again, Elias is one of those characters that sort of seems to be growing and growing and growing. And like, he's actually got the potential, but whether they can cross him across.
You know when you've got a heel who you cheer for and then he instantly just takes the piss out of you and you just stand there and go, yes, Elias, you're right. That's the sign of a guy that's got you in the palm of his hand. Like, you want to talk about how Roman Reigns, after his promo when he beat The Undertaker, and he lifted up his hand and he went, I've got them in my hand. No, you fucking don't, mate. Elias has them in his hand. You're just fucking hated.
Well, every time I look at him, I just think of Macho Man. I don't know what it is. Like, I just look at him and go, Macho.
Yeah. He's bigger than Macho Man, though. He's a big fella.
He's a big chap.
Funny thing about him was when he was in NXT, he was wrestling for a couple of weeks with a really bad back. And then he was tagging with some lad, I can't remember who. And when he got introduced in the ring, because he was already waiting in the ring, his tag team partner hit him in his back, like, good job, mate, come on, let's do this.
And he just
went, oh, you fucker! And you could tell they were totally hiding it, and he was wrestling hard. It was brilliant. But yeah, I like The Miz, Rollins, that guy that I just said, whose name I just completely forgot. Yeah, exactly. Elias.
We'll listen
really
back
like
to
Elias. I like the bar. I think there's some talents on there that are being grossly underused. I do like Corey Graves. I think he's quite good. I think that him and Cole, when Cole's mucking up and Graves is correcting him on it, I think that's saving the commentary. I really do.
Yeah, I'm glad that they've ceased having Cole being a prominent character in feuds. Like, just let him do commentary and that's fine. Don't have him get in the ring or get involved or whatever.
Yeah.
Leave that for like Miz can do exactly the same thing and he can actually wrestle.
I like the women's divisions as well. I like the fact that there's so many of them now and they're actually pulling off some good matches. Some of them are being stinkers though, but I'll get onto the bad things later.
I feel like the women's division at the moment has huge amounts of potential. And there's certain bits which are just being poorly used. Like the whole Bayley Sasha Banks friends not friends, or who's going to turn on who first. And now Bayley's apparently sad and just walks away from everything. Like, I don't understand what is it. To pull the trigger on it. I don't know if they were trying.
Well, they don't know when they want to though.
And that's the thing though. It's like the longer they wait, and she's just sitting going, well, I've just moved on. Like I think Alexa Bliss was a great champion. I genuinely felt that she was like a solid heel champion. And then they've put the title on Nia Jax, and it was all right to start with. And now that they've put her with Ronda Rousey, I'm now going. They seem to have turned her heel in a really weird way, and I don't get it.
Nia Jax has improved. She was terrible. I thought she wrestled like a baby that was learning to walk. She just
Sorry.
She didn't. She doesn't bend her knees. She just fucking walks straight legged everywhere.
I hadn't noticed that, but I'll keep an eye out for it.
And her voice is getting to me now. It's very prom queen bitchy type tone, and I don't like it.
Yeah, the promo. I watched a bit of the promo from last night's Raw, and I'm just like, I don't understand what you're doing. This is weird. Weren't you supposed to be the nice face who didn't like being bullied?
She's easily hateable when it's her and another good guy. That's it.
I think she could be I feel like she could be a great monster heel in the female like roster, but they just don't like if they booked her like they did with Braun and just like kept it simple, let her do the big power moves that wasn't gonna cause a problem to show off her strengths and such like that, and slowly develop like literally just have that because there's no one like her, and I think that's great.
Have her flip a couple of trucks.
Just do something like that. Like actually, if they want to make her a big monster, don't make it about her size. Make it about her strength because she's clearly a strong person.
Yeah, she is a strong person.
But I feel that I'm just not convinced by her. Like,
because she wrestles like a baby.
Exactly. And then putting her in with Ronda Rousey, I was like, Rousey did well in her match at WrestleMania.
Did very well.
Yeah, and it was a great match. It was possibly even the match of the show.
It was. Me and Sanj were very impressed with it. We thought it was going to be a stinker.
But this is the thing. Like the Triple H, Triple H and Steph and Kurt Angle, and that they put on what is essentially a quintessential wrestling match because it was that equal parts story and ring psychology with a decent amount of in-ring technicality. Mm-hmm. It's not a spot fest. It's not a story fest.
Felt like it a bit.
A little bit, but there was at least a little bit of the whole like you're not going to touch me because there was a little bit of that whole chase me with the keeping Steph away from Ronda and then getting there. Whereas like you look at like a classic sort of intercontinental title match from around now, and it's very much high action, high pace.
A lot of false finishes and stuff as well.
Lots of false finishes.
There wasn't really any false finishes on that one.
Exactly. So like that's why I felt like for me from when I came in, and it was that sort of mix of storytelling and wrestling. That's what I look for in a match. I want to see that bit of story. I want to see the characters come through. I want to be like, oh my god, I hate Triple H. I love Kurt Angle because he's just there to be there.
Although I don't like the new Ralph Wiggum incarnation of Kurt Angle though.
Oh, dopey Kurt's kind of fun.
Yeah, who like and at WrestleMania he left the ring, like he went through the ropes and he pile drived himself against the apron. And like I don't know if you noticed that, but I think that's how he got the cut in his face. But it's like, come on, Kurt, you're getting out the ropes, just Jesus.
Yeah, women's division I think it's all right. It just could be a bit better. I think it just seems a bit muddied at the moment.
It all could be a bit better though, Chief, couldn't it?
Yeah, everything could be a lot better. But like from say a year ago, like I love the fact that they've been putting all these new matches through and they're getting a lot of these firsts. But are they going to be able to keep it up? Are they going to?
No, they don't need to do those. That's something I don't like.
I thought the Elimination Chamber match was pretty good. I thought the Rumble was all right.
Oh, yeah, we didn't like the Hell in a Cell though, did we?
I don't even remember the Hell in a Cell. I
think I was you'd be right not to. That's when Sasha got like thrown onto the table and it didn't bust, and then they had the whole Hell in a Cell, and then like they climbed up it a bit, and then said, "Oh no, that's too high," and then climbed halfway down, and then did a wee spot off onto the table outside.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
don't do it just because you're women. Do it because it means something. Do it because you have to. If it's a ladder match, then have two people fighting for one belt, or do a double pin, and then say you're both champions, and then reach for the title and have a ladder match at the next pay-per-view. Don't just do it because the boys are doing it and you're like, okay, you guys need one too. Yeah, with Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank it makes sense, but don't start like...
I feel that if they were given a bit more space to actually just wrestle, like I feel that like if they again, it's that whole pulling the trigger. There's so much potential in a Sasha Banks Bayley feud, but they just don't seem to want to do it. They want to. I feel like they need to. I feel with Banks, she's much better as a heel.
Yeah, but you know what I think they're doing now? I think they think they're already doing that feud. Instead of, we all see it and it's all just treading water and it's not a story. They think it's a story, but it's not. It's not a story at all. And they're going, oh, this feud's got a slow burn. No, it's got no burn. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's stopped. Like
Yeah.
and like I said, like Becky Lynch seems to have just drifted off.
She's great. Her Instagram is fantastic.
Yeah, but that's not what. That's not a wrestling match, is it?
No, but like she's doing what entertains her, and her fans are enjoying it. So there you go.
Like, I love Becky Lynch, but like I said, I'd much rather see her wrestling. Like I think she's a great wrestler, and like I just like Carmella, really.
Oh, she drives me mad. She's the female Enzo Amore. She really is. She can talk, but she can't fucking wrestle, and she insists on screaming all the way through it.
Again, it's like we'll come to this in a minute because we're going to be talking about Money in the Bank in a bit. The other thing I was going to say that I feel like WWE is doing wrong at the moment is the tag team division, and they've been doing it wrong for forever. There's just like all the tag teams that are great in NXT come up and they just disappear. Like
Yes.
there's no consistency there, other than maybe the Usos and the New Day. Yeah, the New Day, the Usos, and the Bar.
Yes.
They are a step ahead of everything else, and then
Yeah.
there is just this big puddle of tag team, which are mostly just people they've just wrapped together, and the teams who are actually teams. So, like when Enzo and Cass came up, they didn't last very long. The Revival came up and have just been floating around. Gallows.
That's not WWE's fault though. That's their fault for both getting injured one after each other.
Yeah, Gallows and Anderson could have come in and just dominated the tag team division.
They did. They did though. They had the belt for ages, and then they lost it at Mania to the Hardys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't know. Sorry, dude. They did, but they were definitely underused as well.
Yeah.
But they were underused because we all know what we wanted. We wanted the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
We wanted AJ, Balor, the two of them all together.
Yeah.
But WWE couldn't do that because that'd be like they would get sued, and they didn't want to deal with that crap.
I'm trying to think of the Heath Slater and Rhino.
Good on SmackDown, terrible on Raw.
Yeah, like there's so many just tag teams that are just people piled together. Titus
Like
O'Neil
Titus
and
Worldwide as well.
Titus Worldwide. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's it's.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's three
Yeah.
tag teams in there, and then everything else is just dross. The Ascension have been ruined. Breezango are just being paired together. They've put together Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, and that's clearly a vehicle to get McIntyre back into the roster so he can go off and be a solo star, which he should because he looks great.
Oh, he's upper tier. He really is.
Like I when he came back and he got that new T-shirt, I'm like, oh, the T-shirt looks great. But given that my name's McIntyre and his name's McIntyre, is that weird that I'm wearing a T-shirt with my surname on it?
Not at all.
So,
Not at all. People wear football tops with their name on the back of it. So
yeah,
why
but this
not?
would be on the front, which would just be weird, and just a gigantic weird M. Because it's a great looking T-shirt, but I'm like, I don't know if that's something I really want to be wearing. But like,
I think it's worth it.
yeah. So there's them. Like there's all these like. I just feel like there's nothing really come. And now we've got the B team because they don't know what they don't know what to do with.
B team like, but yeah.
They don't know what to do with Bo and Curtis, who I still don't think should be called Curtis. I think he should be Axel Curtis, which was much
It's
better.
too long now. He's been Curtis Axel for so long.
Yeah, and like there's just so much dross in that tag team division, and they've paired together Hardy and Bray Wyatt, and nobody cares
Which is
about
just
Bray
dross in
Wyatt.
itself, even
Yeah.
though it should be gold, but it's not.
Bray Wyatt is just done. He's done. They've ruined him. They build him up and then they undermine him and undermine him and undermine him. And they build him up and they put him undermine him. And he had so much potential, and it just petered out. And they thought, oh, we'll put with Hardy, and it was an all right feud, and it was interesting, and it got us back into that whole Ultimate Deletion thing again, which was entertaining. And it was just like, oh, we're actually going to see something dynamic and different. And now they're just a tag team, and he just seems to be Bray Wyatt again, but they're happy. He's a happy Bray Wyatt.
You know, the best thing about Bray Wyatt was when he was tagging with Roman Reigns, and he went to pin some guy, and he pointed at the other guy who was standing up, and he was about to break up the pin, and then Roman just went over there and speared him. And at that point, you liked the both of them, and you were like, oh man, this would work. You can have a heel Bray Wyatt and a good guy Roman Reigns winning the belt, and they'd be like an unlikely partnership, because you know what they're like. They love their unlikely partnerships.
Oh yeah. Well,
that would have been
but
fucking
you know what?
amazing.
That's what the tag team division now. It's a whole bunch of unlikely partnerships that they have then made. Oh, it's like slightly less unlikely because Breezango, one guy likes to dance, one guy likes fashion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing that frustrates me so much. Like even like American Alpha, which were a great tag team, and they were designed as a tag team, they got split up. I still don't
Yeah.
really understand the logic behind that because they were a good tag team. And Joyce and Jordan needs to go away, and he has gone away because he's injured. But when he comes back, he's going to be just as annoying as he was before.
He is going to come back. He's coming back soon.
Yeah, and he's clearly they're building.
But that's what they want. They want him to be annoying, though, dude.
But he's annoying for the wrong reasons. He's getting X-Pac heat.
I
Is he
think
getting heat because he's genuinely a bad guy, or is he getting heat because he's annoying? Look at me! Oh man! Oh come on, Dad!
I think a lot of people have got X-Pac heat on that show.
Yes.
So I don't know if that makes him stand out for the worse but yeah. So that's.
You know what I mean? Though? The tag team division is 3 tag teams and that's it. There's nothing else in there. And they've got like in NXT, they've got so many people floating around in their tag team division. You've got the Undisputed Era. They've got hold on a second. Where did the Age of
You've got TM61. I don't know if they call themselves TM61 anymore.
One of them's injured again, I think.
And Sanity, they've just come up to SmackDown,
they're
haven't they?
up. What were the other? What was his name? Razar and.
Oh, they're up.
They're up.
The
where
Authors
were they
of
this
Pain.
week?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know. I never watched it.
They have the potential to. Then you got the Bludgeon Brothers. Oh, don't get me started on them.
I don't know. I quite like Harper. I don't like Rowan. Nobody likes Rowan.
I feel like they just accelerated them so much, and they just went, "Oh, we're just going to destroy everybody," and now it's just like, "Oh well, no one can beat them," because they basically punked out everyone on that roster.
Who would you beat them with? Would you either beat them in somebody comes in and beats them straight away, or do you have like a what? Hang on, what is it? Is it like a tag team match or like a ladder match that they're having for the tag team titles or something?
There is the SmackDown tag team titles is just a straight match. It's the Bludgeon Brothers versus Gallows and Anderson.
What, on Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
What a waste!
Exactly, isn't it?
Yeah.
All that's going to happen is
the Bludgeon for a ladder match.
The Bludgeon Brothers are going to just going to roll over Gallows and Anderson, and it's going to be a continued waste of Gallows and Anderson at the expense of the Bludgeon Brothers looking strong, and they already look strong. They already look undefeatable. And I'm just like, I don't understand where this is coming from. Like it's I don't care about the Bludgeon Brothers because they walk out and they just destroy everything. And younger me would have been like, that's amazing. But now I'm just like, I just want to see quality tag team matches. Like the Usos and the New Day put together some quality stuff, and then it just felt like the Bludgeon Brothers were just shoehorned in because they had to do something with them.
Yeah. And like a lot of their talent are just kind of like festering around because they're waiting for their opportunity.
Yeah.
And when they say, okay, we don't have anything for you, we're going to use these guys, and it's like, okay, I'm festering around. And then the writers come up to them, or the producers come up and said, right, we're going to do something new. Okay, well, I'm festering about here in the lower tier. What are you going to do with me? We'll give you a hammer and we'll let you run through a couple of jobbers for a few weeks, and then you'll win the tag team titles. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's painful. You know what? Here's something that I think WWE needs. They need an off season. Yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be for a long time, but just maybe a month, just to kind of catch up on things.
Do you know what I always felt? I always felt that they should allow wrestlers to basically take breaks, like just not be on TV for periods of time.
Well, that's why Roman's off this week.
Yeah,
he had his 33rd. Sorry.
God, is that how old he is?
Yeah, he's younger than me.
Like I do feel that I think you saw it back in the day with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you saw it with Daniel Bryan when he had to stop wrestling. That sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. Give people less, and you will get more back from them. Mm-hmm. And I think now we're starting to see that with Daniel Bryan. It's why I'm certainly worried about his return, because I'm just like, all we're going to do is because he's just going to be completely overexposed, because he's going to be wrestling on every show because everyone wants to see him, and that's fine. But like Brock isn't there all the time, and yeah, okay, I mean it's bad that the champion isn't there every single show, but at the same time he then means a lot more because it's like he turns up and that Lesnar's there, whereas Roman's on every show shouting about the fact that Lesnar's not there, and I went, yeah, well, he's getting paid the big bucks.
I'm here, guys, give me the bell, I'm here.
Yeah, so's Dolph Ziggler.
It's like the person at school who gets perfect attendance and he goes around bragging about it. It's like, fuck
Exactly.
you teachers.
Like that's the thing that frustrates me. It's just like, well, yeah, well, get a better negotiator when it comes to contracts, mate.
You know what's rough is that I know people who had perfect attendance at school and I had the same grades as them and I fucking skived like mad. That's what you are, Roman Reigns. You're somebody who gets average grades with perfect attendance.
Beautiful analogy. Right, shall we move on to Money in the Bank? And we'll go over some predictions and so forth. So there are currently 8 matches announced.
Yeah, I've got 8 as well.
And I reckon there's maybe another couple at least to be announced in the upcoming weeks before the show. So we'll start with the non-title, nothing related to titles or the Money in the Bank stuff. So the first match I'm going to talk about is Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has become a douche, and Bobby Lashley has returned, and basically they don't like each other. So
he's also a douche, is he not?
No, Bobby Lashley's a smiling man again. He's back. He's not really changed a huge amount, but does a great stalling suplex. Again, I'm sure Bobby Lashley's a great guy, but like I feel that every time he's been in the WWE, he's just bland. Like he just sort of like, we should like you because I'm me, because I'm big, and I like the fact he's big. I like the fact he's athletic, but there's just no personality there, and it's just very beige. Yeah,
he's always been that though. He's like no personality. It's like, right, you know when you're playing a wrestling game.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, in order to play story mode, you've got to create a character. Yeah. And you go, oh, for fuck's sake. And it's like, right, here's your character right now. And you're just like, continue.
Oh,
and then you don't care.
Default.
He's default. He's just got black trunks, nothing else, no facial features, not even smiling. That's what Bobby Lashley is. Oh, but you accidentally sat on a controller and you put a headband on him by mistake. And that's Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's just like, I wish they would give him the chance to actually get over. Because at the moment, like he's just hitting these big moves, and he's a great wrestler. Technically, he's great, but personality-wise, there's just not much there. And he seems to have gotten better with the promos a little bit. But again, it's just like, whereas Sami Zayn, while he's become like since he turned heel and all that, and he's been doing some great stuff. Like, and he's annoying and such. I feel like it'll probably be a great match, but I think it'll be a great match because Sami Zayn will be a douche, and Lashley will overcome because he'll just overpower him.
Well, he'll have to. I mean, if Sami Zayn was to beat Bobby Lashley, like, if he wins by DQ, I understand, but they want to thread it out for another month. But
I think Lashley's being fed Sami Zayn.
He's getting destroyed.
Yeah, I think they're looking to build up Lashley as, just in case Brock disappears, but actually we can only hypothesize on how that's going to go.
I'm trying to find this picture of Bobby Lashley because he there was this podcast I listened to, and the presenter of it, he goes to the same barbers as Bobby Lashley does, and you think, oh, Bobby Lashley goes to a barber's to what, shave his head? But he gets his eyebrows stitched. Did you know this?
No. Or is it like that thing with the?
You know when people, like, what they do is they just stitch in fake hairs into the eyebrows in order to make them look thicker and keep the same line.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's why he wears a fucking headband all the time, to cover his eyebrows.
I just thought he sweated a lot.
Well, for the longest time he used to shave his eyebrows and he used to not have any at all. And then he
That answers so many questions.
And then he started stitching them in, and he I remember seeing him. I think it might have been on the first episode of Raw that he was on. When he made his appearance, and you saw his eyebrows, and you're like, whoa, fuck's sake!
I genuinely hadn't picked out that he didn't have eyebrows, and then all of a sudden, I'm now flashing back to all the times I watched him in the past. And went, holy shit, he didn't have eyebrows. Oh my god!
Yeah, because he used to shave them.
Ah, crikey, that's insane.
Now he's got these big ass fake eyebrows.
So, okay, who's winning? Who's losing? What's going to happen? Is it going to be back and forth, and just Lashley's going to overcome, dominate?
Yeah, I think that. But you know what? Just to be contrarian, I think Sami Zayn will win in a shitey way.
In a shitey. Do you want to go a little bit more detailed than shitey, or are we just
really shitey?
cool, excellent? I'm so glad I got you on for this, mate.
It'll be like a referee distraction. That's what I think.
Okay, a referee distraction.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it'll be a case of Sami Zayn will basically you'll almost kite him. You'll try and stay away. You'll try and pick him off, but I think Lashley's just going to overpower him. There'll be a big standing hell locked, whatever it is, release super.
Or the thing he nearly killed. Big Cass with.
Probably, yeah.
Oh.
Something like that, and then I don't know. He'll use a Dominator or something. Does he still use a Dominator? I don't know. I don't know what his finisher is.
Why not?
So yeah, so that's that match. The other non-related to anything match that has been announced so far is Roman Reigns versus the modern-day Maharaja Jinder Mahal. Does anybody care about this match?
Roman Reigns. Why isn't Roman Reigns in the title in the Money in the Bank thing?
Because Jinder Mahal cost him his his shot, and then Roman Reigns just started spearing Jinder left, right, and centre because WWE thought that nobody likes Jinder, so if we have Roman Reigns just continuously spearing him, people will no, that's not working either. Cool, well we'll have a match at Money in the Bank. Yeah,
okay.
That's essentially
it.
Yeah,
that's gonna stink. Oh, by the way, I've sent you a picture of Bobby Lashley's eyebrows.
Sorry, I've still got that picture of you. Oh yeah, so he does.
Yeah,
he looks so much less like a mannequin now.
Well, I think he looks worse. How can you look angry with those things attached to your head?
Yeah, so Roman Jinder.
Right, yeah, Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. I think they're going to boo the fuck out of this. But I think
it's going to be a horrible match.
What's the next match? What's the next pay-per-view after this?
I don't know. It can't be SummerSlam, can it? No. I lose track now. They're doing these joint pay-per-views, but they're constantly...
What would be the next one? It would be a nothing pay-per-view, surely.
Let's have a quick look, shall we?
Yeah. Well, if it's a nothing pay-per-view, I think Jinder's going to win it and they're going to drag it out for another match. This is me. Like, I've been so broken by Vince McMahon. I just think everything's going to be a horrible match where nothing fun happens.
Extreme Rules. Yeah,
Ooh.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I think Jinder's going to win this one too with a distraction finish.
Sunil Singh. Is it going to be Sunil Singh?
Yeah, Sunil will sing and that'll put Roman off.
He'd be like, oh, I can't Superman punch this. I'm going to have to unload my hand another way. I hate
there was
that.
There was a lad called
so much.
There was a wrestler in Ring of Honor that I saw recently called Punishment Martinez, and
That's a nice name.
He was a good wrestler.
Exotic.
I'm not saying he was bad, but he looks the spitting image of Roman Reigns.
Is he just Roman Reigns trying to learn how to wrestle?
Yeah, and so we all started shouting like Roman Reigns stuff at him. And we were going like, Superman punch! I'll see if I can find out.
I just don't understand why he has to load his hand. It's like, have you seen the trailer for the new Mission Impossible movie?
No.
No. You know how Henry Cavill's in it with his mustache that had to get CG'd out of Justice League because he looked like
that horrible top lip.
That horrible top lip, yeah. So basically, the reason he had this is because he's in Mission Impossible and his character has a mustache, whatever. Anyway, there's a clip in the trailer where he's about to go into a fight, and he literally sort of, I don't know what it is, he like flicks his fists down as if he's loading his fists for a fight, and then just like goes in. It's the weirdest thing, and he just sort of, I don't like, he just moves in a really weird way. But all I can think of is just like Roman Reigns loading his fist for a Superman punch.
Well, if he doesn't cock it, it's not going to be.
It's not going to
be as brutal.
No, of course not. Because everyone knows that taunting makes every move worse.
Oh yeah, and like I can't remember who I said this to, but stomping the ground makes your punches harder. Like, I stole that off of Kayfabe News, and you're like, really? I'm like, yeah, totally. It's all about friction.
He's like Roman Reigns' evil twin.
Oh, you seen it there? Yeah, it's good, eh?
So yeah, I can't. I mean, I can see Jinder winning, but I think it'll just be Roman Reigns, and then Jinder will find some way to. He'll come back like the Raw after. He'll probably he'll just destroy Reigns
They're
with a
not going to
chair or
have one
something.
pay-per-view though for Jinder. They can't do that. They can't. They've got to draw it out for a couple of months.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's distracting Roman from whatever he's doing until SummerSlam
Yeah.
where he can fight Brock Lesnar again.
Is that where we think he's going to win it at?
Well, they've got to take the title off him some point.
Might not be Brock.
Might be
Might
Braun.
not be Brock that does it.
Hopefully.
Oh, sorry. It might not be somebody else that beats Brock. It might be like it might be the person that wins the Money in the Bank. Somehow screws over Brock Lesnar, wins it that way, and then Roman Reigns just pins the other person really easy.
Maybe. So
This is I swore I wasn't going to get any fantasy booking until we decided.
right. SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Bludgeon Brothers versus Gallows and Anderson. Thoughts? I think it's just going to be. I think the Bludgeon Brothers are just going to go through them.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? They're going to win that.
They're just going to go straight through those guys. WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Carmella versus Asuka. I know who I want to win, but I know who probably is going to win. Like, Asuka should win this, but she probably won't.
Yeah, I think they feel Carmella is just keeping that title warm for both Charlotte and Asuka.
Yeah.
And
unless she is a means to take the title off Charlotte and put it on Asuka so that then they can have the rematch and it's the other way around. So obviously Mania, Charlotte had the title and retained.
Yeah.
Versus Asuka, and then if Asuka has the title and Charlotte's challenging, if that makes sense. So then you have the match from the other side. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, that's the only that's the only way I can see it happening. So maybe Asuka wins and then you have Charlotte challenging later on, or maybe she wins Money in the Bank. Who knows?
Well, if computer games have taught me anything, I think Carmella is going to hit Asuka with a slap and then pin her for 1, 2, 3. That's what I reckon.
I feel like that is a solid. To be honest, that's probably a lot better than most of the WCW booking from the 1990s.
Do you remember though? All the women's wrestlers in the games just used to have a slap and that was it.
Yeah. Hashtag equality.
I think Carmella distraction finish. No, I think Asuka's winning this.
You think Asuka's winning?
There we go. That's my positive.
Is this the rebuilding of Asuka essentially?
Yes, to get knocked down by Charlotte again.
Yeah. Like I totally understand why the result at WrestleMania happened because they had to get rid of that streak because it was just becoming burdensome. I feel this is they're going to rebuild it up there. Okay, so I think have we both said Asuka? I think we both said Asuka because I think Asuka's going to win as well.
Yeah, I'm saying Asuka. Yeah.
Cool. Raw Women's Championship: Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Can Vacant win this?
Who knows? It depends where on the card happens. You never know. The Money in the Bank match might happen and beforehand, and then the winner comes out and takes the title off.
Well, there's a hot rumor going around that Natalia's going to win the Money in the Bank and claim it on Ronda, like as soon as. That's the word on the street.
That would be kind of interesting. Give her the title and take the title off her.
But that just reeks of fantasy booking.
No, but it's interesting though. It's instant heat. It's instant. Like Natalia is great as a heel. She's much better as a heel than as a face because she sort of becomes completely vanilla as a face.
Yeah, I didn't feel bad for her when she was getting bullied by Alexa Bliss. I didn't feel bad for her at all. I just felt like the whole like WWE be a star thing that was going on. I just thought it reeked of that, and I'm like yeah, Nia's improved. She does deserve the title, but ultimately this is just an excuse to say like, you know, women's revolution. You know, being fat is like fierce and doesn't affect your health at all. It's like, oh, and by the way, folks, I'm a fat man, so I'm allowed to say that. That's our word. Yeah, I don't think it's the right message. I think Alexa should have kept the belt. Putting it on Nia's just been a bad move, I think, now, in hindsight.
I feel like we're putting the title on Nia. I think it was almost an appeasement. Like,
what, to keep her happy?
I think it was to keep her happy.
Yeah.
Like obviously when she disappeared around about the same time that Neville disappeared, and obviously Neville has stayed disappeared, whereas she sort of came back a couple of weeks later, and like I can't. Well, this is all hypothesis and supposition and whatever, but like Nia Jax is a attraction. She is definitely a different mold. And that's what WWE have been missing for such a long time is these varieties of characters. You look at guys from Braun Strowman down to Daniel Bryan in terms of size and build and style. And the WWE women's division didn't really have that.
No, it didn't.
There are no outside of the ordinary characters. Like they were all very much the same sort of build and size. And yeah, you've
Yes.
got Charlotte in there, and you've got Asuka, and you've got, but like there was no real standout in terms of like the real different build. And losing Nia Jax in that way would have been pretty bad, because
Yes.
then that different face of the female side. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything like that in terms of that. It's just a whole different area in terms of things that I know about. But I feel that they wanted to keep her, and one of the ways that they could have kept her was basically say, look, we're going to put the title on you at Mania.
That's what TNA did, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever people's contract was up, the belt switched hands like hot potato.
Yeah, and essentially that's what the TNA just seemed to just constantly pass the belt back and forward between people who are maybe about to disappear.
Yes.
And like I don't mind Nia Jax, but I just think she could be so much more. And it's just, again, it's just this inconsistent booking. One minute she's being bullied by someone and she's upset and all that, and then the next minute she's mocking Ronda Rousey and just like, I don't get it. Like, and given your style, given your look, you should be just destroying people. You should be doing what Not Brock Lesnar. You should be doing what Braun Strowman is, and just running over people. We've seen you do it in the Rumble, where you did the same spot where everyone's piled on you, and then you go brrr and power out, and everyone goes flying, and it's completely unrealistic. But you do the same spots that like a Big Show and Strowman do, but you don't use the same power moves that they do. Like,
well, she does the Samoan drop.
and she does the
Roman
Samoan drop, and she does the Gorilla Press Slam. But like, there's no like, you don't see that power. You don't see her literally just overpowering someone, and you certainly don't sort of oversee her overpowering someone who isn't just a jobber.
I don't think they want her to look like she's overpowering people. I don't want them to. I think they want to look easy for her, like she's doing it effortlessly.
Yeah.
So.
But when she does it effortlessly and she's not really doing something that looks like it makes up a huge amount of effort, then it's just like, oh, you're effortlessly doing something that isn't much effort.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like Nia Jax which is being used the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at classic big guy, then yeah, she is different, and I think they are trying something different, and I think it is not working.
No.
However, the opportunity or the options are, you keep the belt on her and kind of tag along a bit and make Ronda Rousey look worse, or you get Ronda to win and hopefully the Money in the Bank will either make things more exciting at the end of the match, or you carry on with Ronda's the champ. Ronda's the champ though so soon.
I think it's too soon. I feel like they're fast tracking something here, or they're said, yeah. That's the only reason why I could think that if they have the women's Money in the Bank match before that match and Natalia wins it or someone like that wins it, then she'll literally, like, you'll have that oh my god, she's won, and then just have it stolen away from her right there, and then that's instant heat. Whoever gets it, because there's all sorts of people who could get it. So what are we saying? Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey? Who's getting the title?
I don't see Ronda Rousey getting beaten.
No.
But how does Ronda Rousey beat Nia Jax?
Armbar.
She's not gonna tap. She's woken fierce. She's not gonna tap.
They made a big deal out of on Raw that she's not scared of the armbar. She's not scared of the armbar. But there's a part of me that thinks that maybe that's a whole like this direction. Like, it's like, I'm not scared of the armbar. As soon as that armbar goes in, she taps.
Or she's scared like Frankenstein seeing fire.
Yeah, like, it's like the whole thing is like, she won't get like and you saw it in the Stephanie match at WrestleMania, that they spent the entire time trying to keep that armbar from getting locked in. Like, and Stephanie did a great job of, like, you could see, like, all the time she was blocking it. Like, I feel that's going to be part of the story. Like as soon, like, the armbar that Ronda Rousey does is, once it's locked in, that's it, game over.
Well, she hurt Stephanie's arm so much that her other arm was hurting the next day.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. That's a superpower.
Okay.
Gun to the head.
Fuck it.
I think Rousey will win, but I think it depends where that Money in the Bank match happens. If the Money in the Bank match happens before it, Rousey wins. Otherwise, I think
double count out.
Ooh,
that's what I'm thinking. Double count out. Nobody's gonna boo.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe just a straight out disqualification. That's the only way I can see it happening.
What, like she doesn't let go of the armbar and then the ref
that or just
rings the bell and everyone thinks, oh yeah, she's won, and then it's like she's been disqualified.
possibly. I would say probably just using a chair. Just Nia Jax just hits her with a chair repeatedly.
What, and you have a turn, Nia turns.
Maybe. Well, she already seems to be turning.
She's just a likeable heel. That's what she is.
Yeah.
She's
I know,
a bad guy through and through, and they
this
know
muddied
that.
water thing again.
Okay, I think double DQ, Nia Jax retains.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to go Rousey wins and then loses the title to whoever won the mini in the bink. The mini in the bank.
Alexa Bliss, and then the status quo. Hooray!
All right, WWE Championship, last man standing. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Are we finally going to get a match that doesn't end in a double ball knocker? Because all of this feud seems to have revolved around two men battering the shit out of each other's testicles.
Is there any top face on SmackDown other than AJ Styles?
Not that
I don't think so.
Well, Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know what Bobby Roode technically counts as at the moment.
Oh, he's on Raw now.
Oh, is he on Raw? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Rusev, is he a face now? Is he?
I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe. We like him, but WWE don't.
Well, if Shinsuke Nakamura wins the title, then obviously there's going to be a rematch with AJ Styles anyway. And then Daniel Bryan's clearly going to be in and around there. There's Big Cass, who's on Raw now. Oh, no, he's on SmackDown. I don't know.
No, he's on SmackDown, and he's been injured for a couple of weeks again.
I'm trying to think who else is because Orton's out injured, isn't he?
Yes. So we've got Samoa Joe feuding with Daniel Bryan now.
They face off on SmackDown. So this will come up in the men's Money in the Bank match because they face off on SmackDown this week to decide the final participant.
Oh, I see it there, yeah. Right, I think it's going to be tough, but you either get Shinsuke winning and then Daniel Bryan is going to face him, or you have AJ winning and then Samoa Joe faces him.
Both would be amazing.
Yeah,
both, I think,
it's
would
looking
be great
good,
choices.
doesn't it?
I feel like it's time for Shinsuke to have the title.
Yes.
Since he turned heel, he's had a chance to strut. I think against Daniel Bryan, he would get another chance to... even if they have a rematch with AJ Styles where he's the champion, he then puts Styles away, and Styles can then go off and feud with someone else without the title for a bit, and then Shinsuke can get someone else to feud with. I think that's great. I think that's what they need, and it shakes something up. Can put Daniel Bryan back into the title hunt. I don't think he wins, or whether they feed Shinsuke some people, whether they feed him Bobby Roode or whatever. But I think Shinsuke wins.
I think Shinsuke wins too. Are we going to explain how?
I don't know. AJ doesn't answer the 10 count. There we go.
Oh, smart arse. Right. I think there's two ways that he could win this. I think there's my way, and then there's the WWE way.
Okay. What's the WWE way first?
The WWE way is AJ Styles is in the middle of getting up. Maybe he's at like 6 or 7 in the count or something. And as he's on his knees, from behind, Shinsuke hits him with a Kinshasa.
Okay.
And then he's already still down, and I think the ref will count 8, 9, 10. Even though we know that breaks the count and it should start again at 1, but WWE's logic is fuck the fans and fuck continuity, they'll just count to 10 anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you think it's going to happen then?
Oh, I think they're going to have a ball off.
He's going to play Rochambeau.
I think they're both going to be getting up, and it's going to be a 7 count each of them, and I think Shinsuke's going to wallop him before he gets to his feet, and AJ's going to go down while Shinsuke gets up, and it'll be like the Rocky 2 finish. And then Shinsuke will just make it with the ropes and get to, make it up at 9, and then AJ will go down. And he's like, oh, my balls.
Oh, one of them's come out of my mouth.
Oh, boy.
No, I think that's pretty solid. I can't see it. I don't think it's going to not involve someone getting hit in the testicles repeatedly.
Oh, there's another thing. What they could do is you could have Shinsuke kick AJ hard in the balls halfway through the match, and he's wearing a metal cup, and then he pulls it out, and all the fans are like, oh, very good, very good. And Shinsuke hurts his ankle.
That would be a cool... I feel like that is the way to do it. I feel like we've got to the stage where AJ's just looking stupid now for not wearing a cup.
Yeah, there's definite fuckery being involved here.
But I definitely, I think it'd be kind of cool if he does wear that, and then Shinsuke goes for that that ball knocker, and then essentially like his leg gets done, and then it's like, oh, will he hit the Kinshasa? Oh, or the ref will take the cup off him at that point, and be like, no, you don't have the cup anymore. You're not allowed the cup, and then you'll get the rest of the match, and then like Shinsuke will win, whatever. Like I think that would be kind of interesting. But like I said, I think it'll just be. I don't think it'll be. I think they'll continue with AJ not realizing that he can wear a cup. And
maybe there's something like it's illegal and you're not allowed it.
No, I don't think it's
Maybe.
illegal. Well,
why not?
mind, D'Lo Brown wore a bloody riot vest for long periods of time.
Yeah, but it's like, are you allowed to wear a helmet? No, you're not, right?
Brett wore a what did Brett wore when he was feuding with Goldberg? He wore like a chest protector to deal with. Like he he essentially.
I think Brett wore Goldberg's shoe, didn't he?
Brett essentially pulled a Back to the Future 3 and had like a big metal thing across his waist. So like Goldberg went to spear him, and like he just like and
he knocked himself out.
He knocked him. Yeah, he basically ran into him, and like obviously Brett went down because it was a spear. But then like Goldberg just didn't get back up again. It was like, what's happened? And Brett takes off his ridiculously sized hockey jersey, and he's got this big metal like abdomen.
Yeah, those were the days. That's when I used to watch WCW as well.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's it. And that's the thing that I think is missing from this feud, is like that whole point where it's like, can we please have a heel or a face who's vaguely intelligent? If you've been hitting the nuts however many times, first of all, you've lost one of them.
Yeah.
At this stage, one of those balls is no longer functioning.
Yeah.
And you may
Thank goodness he's got his kids already.
Yeah. I mean that's I mean it's all written down the side, but like like please can we just have some level of sense where there's at a certain point, certainly at least after the third or the fourth one, you'd be going, you know what, I'm pretty certain there's something that stops this.
Yeah, he has to learn his lesson.
Yeah, and we don't seem to be seeing that at the moment. And he's tried to I'll go on the offense, and that hasn't worked. So please can we just, even if he loses his title, I just want to see that him pulling a cup out and being like, ha ha ha. That just some common sense booking would be quite nice.
Yeah, that would be good.
So I think we're both seeing Shinsuke, are we?
Yes.
Yeah. Via distracted means.
No, I don't think he's not going to go. Oh, I had to hold back from an accent there. He's going to go look over there, and then say, "Oh, what?" And then he just kicks him hard in the nuts. I think it's going to be I don't know how honest they can be, but I think it'll be an honest ball shot.
An honest. Hold on. Are we back to consensual penis?
Oh God, that's okay. This is a consensual penis.
Oh, we're about half a step away from a ball shot on a stick match.
Yes.
Anyway,
where's Russo?
All right, so. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match for a shot at the WWE champion in the next year. Currently, I don't know why I put a space in there.
Is it the WWE champ or just any champ?
It's the WWE championship.
Or is it not Universal?
No one's ever taken the opportunity to go after the IC belt with a Money in the Bank, which would be an interesting thing to do, but they've not done it.
Is this just SmackDown? Like, no, it's for the Universal or the WWE.
Yeah, it's for both, because there's guys from both sides.
What are you just saying WWE for?
I don't
Pronouns,
know.
pal.
I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, a member of the New Day, which hasn't been.
You're just reading the Wikipedia page, aren't you? Because I'm on the exact same thing here.
No, I copied it off this morning.
All right.
Or this evening.
Versus TBD. I really like TBD.
TBD.
To be determined.
Dog. It's the big dog. It's Roman Reigns.
Oh shit! Sorry. Oh yeah, I never thought of that. That's how they fucked us. We all think it's okay, they'll say it at a later date. And then it's just the big dog.
See, I mean, this is why Vince should employ me. Like, I'll get around all these problems. How do we get him back in the match? Well, just put it down as TBD. They'll think it's Daniel Bryan or someone.
Aha! I love it.
You're a genius, McIntyre.
Here, wear the shirt with your name on it. Right, so ladder match.
So the TBD will be the winner of Daniel Bryan or Samoa Joe on this week's SmackDown. So those are the people who are in the match. I've a feeling that the New Day member will end up being Kofi because
they need somebody to jump off the ropes.
What is a Money in the Bank ladder match without Kofi Kingston? But I mean, it could be anyone. I think anyone in the New Day would have a great role in that match. I don't like. You've already got some seriously big men in, like with Strowman and Kevin Owens and the big power men. You don't need another one with Big E. Xavier Woods would be quite good. Like I think he's really sort of come on. Like I don't know. Any of them could slot in there, but I don't think they're going to win the match. I don't know. Like I feel like the Miz is going to win it. I feel like
that's what you want, isn't it? That's what everybody wants.
That's kind of what I want. I don't think Bobby Roode's going to win it. I don't think Kevin Owens will win it. I don't think Rusev will win it.
It's a lot of jobbers in this, isn't there?
I don't think it's actually no. I don't think there are jobbers in here. Like there's a couple who aren't going to win. Like I don't think Rusev's going to. I think Rusev's in there to give people hope. But I think like Finn Balor's a contender. Braun Strowman's a contender. Either of Daniel Bryan or Samoa Joe's a contender. Kevin Owens could win, but I don't think he will. Like I think that if they're building towards Daniel Bryan versus The Miz at WrestleMania next year, they need to find a way to put the title on Miz, because if Miz is the champion, that's a better story. And what better way to do it than with the Money in the Bank ladder match? And he has made the best use of the Money in the Bank in the past, because he just becomes unbearable. And you have him pick up the title, you then have Daniel Bryan chasing him, and that's a great stand. That is the WrestleMania 35 main event there. So as far as I see it, I think it's The Miz.
Okay.
And I think The Miz is great at the moment. He's been so good, and he deserves. I think he's like. And I used to hate him. I used to genuinely I don't like him, but he's genuinely like a part of the show that you's like, actually no, I want to see how he does. He's performed well. He does everything well. He's earned that spot, I think.
Okay, I agree with you. I think The Miz will win as well. However, I think it's because Miz looks out of sorts when he's not carrying something to the ring.
Yes, no, I see that. I
think he is better with his belt or the Money in the Bank. Like what you said, he draws heat. He's an arsehole with it. It works with him.
It's that whole thing. Is like when he has power, he just makes the most of it. Like he's unbearable. Yeah. He's that guy who's constantly rubbing it in your face. So you have to have that power. Yeah, he has to have that. I
actually think Shinsuke is winning it to lose it to Daniel Bryan.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that The Miz is going to steal it off of Daniel Bryan, and then Bryan's going to get his redemption afterwards.
Ooh,
and win it back off of The Miz again. That's
good. That's actually very good. Like if we have another match with AJ after Shinsuke, so if AJ gets his rematch, loses that, Bryan goes into a feud with Shinsuke, a couple of matches back and forth. He wins the title, loses it to The Miz on the Money in the Bank, and then he's chasing The Miz. Yeah, no, I totally get that. That's great.
Yeah,
that's really good. Even if it's a case of that could lead to Royal Rumble, like the Royal Rumble win to Daniel Bryan that he's been missing out on for the last few years.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I totally see that.
That's what I want, but there's so many other options.
There's so many variables that could kick in, but I think that is solid booking for the rest of the year for your title match, and two guys who have genuine heat with each other, genuine chemistry with each other. You're not putting two completely mismatched styles and sizes with each other, and they have such a history so from day one, and it just represents everything. I definitely think that's the way they'll go, and I would love to see that. I think that's intriguing. That it's like that whole thing is like when you watch a movie. Like whenever a movie comes out, so for example, for Infinity War, and I get a lot of stick for this. I spoiled myself for Infinity War before I saw it.
No,
because that's what I'm so impatient, and I just want to know what happens, so that when I watch it, it's not me going, "Oh my god, this has just happened," and I miss something. Like that moment where you're suddenly hit by a major event, and you're going, "Oh my god, has that just happened?" And then you miss several little details because you're just reeling from the big things. And like something in like Infinity War, that's constantly happening. You're constantly getting hit left, right, and center by these big events. And then there's the little details that you just miss out on because you're just overwhelmed by that. I don't care about the end result. I just want to see the story to get you there, and the craft.
I just want to absorb information as functionally as possible.
Yeah, and I want to see how they get there. I want to see the craft that goes into it. I appreciate good storytelling.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I watched a different movie though. I feel like I got just as much, if not maybe a little bit more of enjoyment out than you did then, if that's the case, because I was more shocked.
No,
You're getting everything that I'm getting, except you're missing the shock value.
yeah, but I don't really
That's
mind
it.
shock.
So there's pros and cons of that, I suppose.
Yeah, like I don't think there's anything wrong. Like people want to spoil themselves. That's fine. I don't think that should be ever be an issue. I certainly don't think people should judge people if they spoil themselves. Like I watch the movies the way I want to watch the movies. I know people who turn around to me and say, "I can't believe you spoiled yourself." Well, that's fine, but for the and this is the thing. Is like I can't believe you spoiled me. Don't tell me anything about it. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Like I knew what was happening. I knew who was living and who was dying in Infinity War for about 3 or 4 days.
Oh, is this where you reveal that you rigged the
No,
draft?
No, because we recorded it before that came out.
Okay.
I was very careful about that. Like we specifically recorded it as early as possible to make sure that.
No, I don't know. I'm sniffing a tainted drug test here.
Well, go talk to Roman Reigns.
No, I think you mean it was. Who was the guy? It was Luther Reigns. That's the guy.
Oh yeah.
They got wise to him after he pushed that box containing Kurt Angle around all the time.
Listen, I knew theory before the movie came out, but after we'd done the podcast, the original draft.
Okay. How did we get onto this?
I don't know. It was something to do with spoilers in the storyline of a show and how you get there. And like I said, 2 or 3 days, I knew what was going to happen, and everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, I've not told anyone. I've not spoiled anyone. Everyone's like, oh, don't tell me. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
At no point did I offer that information. And like I said, I'll spoil myself, but I'm not going to spoil other people. I'm not a malicious prick.
Yeah. Well, that's commendable. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. So is the Miz going to win it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
We might see some new feuds come out of this match, but I think the Miz is going to probably win. He's not really doing anything on SmackDown at the moment, and I think him having the title just makes him a little bit more unbearable. Women's Money in the Bank match. We've already sort of alluded to this. We know all the participants. Ember Moon, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, Sasha Banks. There's your contenders. Who do we think? And again, I feel like there's so many people in this match. Like I don't feel that Lana's going to win. I don't feel Naomi's going to win. I feel it's too
Bailey's
soon.
not in it, is she?
No, she didn't make it in. I don't feel like Ember Moon's going to win. I think it's too early. Charlotte Flair could win. I feel that Money in the Bank works better when you're a heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But obviously we've just had the heel Money in the Bank win.
There's not a lot of heels in there though.
No, like Alexa Bliss is in there. Becky Lynch. I don't think Becky's going to win, which I think is sad because I think she's great.
Too busy with her quinoa salad.
Yeah, well, you know all about Instagram. I'm not on Instagram.
She's just all about that, like it's like grass pasta or some crap like that.
Yeah, okay. Sasha Banks is Money in the Bank. Could that be the thing that sort of finally turns her full heel?
What did she like? Remember, she's going straight back to Bailey after this. So
probably, yeah. Or is Bailey going to cost her the match? Or they're not really. It's not like they're actively getting involved with each other. They seem to be just avoiding each other. It's like the most passive aggressive feud in that sort of hi.
It's like when you know a girl and she's like, oh yeah, this is my best friend, but she fucking hates her.
Yeah, like it's becoming like the worst version of that whole frenemy thing.
It's like a toxic friendship. Yeah, you just don't want any of that shit. But it's to the point where you're just sick of it. It's just like, I've done with both of them.
It's becoming really badly cliched in that whole, we don't like each other, but we're not going to talk about it. And like, it's just like, it feels very high schooly. And I just feel like they just pull the trigger on the feud and go with it because they're just not antagonizing each other. So it's not a feud. Like, you know the thing where they're staying so far away from each other. But they're like, oh, they make such a big deal out of it. But you're just thinking, but they're not going after each other. They're just almost ignoring each other, or they're just like, oh, and yeah, it's not a feud, but they keep saying it's a feud.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Flair, maybe. I feel like the best use is Alexa Bliss because she's sort of fallen off the title.
Yeah, scene. But what is she going to get back on it? Because I've already said that Nia Jax retains. So you're going to have Alexa with the briefcase doing the same old high school crap with Nia as well.
No, I don't think. I think if they do that, I mean, our logic on the Natalya winning is probably the best logic. Because
hang on, how are you looking at Rondy Rousey? Are you looking at the Roundy Rousey? Welcome to Half Asleep with Cheyn and Stu.
Welcome to it's 11:20, and we've been talking for nearly 2 hours. I'm surprised we've made as much sense as we've got to now.
Welcome to Past Your Bedtime with Barg the Ogre.
The secret hidden subtitle of this podcast.
Yeah, we're actually in bed. We're not sitting on chairs at all.
No. It's like Morecambe and Wise. We're actually in the same room. We're just all tucked up in pajamas.
Oh, yeah. Right, I think... do you have Ronda winning or not?
I don't remember. I'm going to have to listen back. I think I had...
Did you write it down?
You had... No, I haven't been writing anything down.
I had Nia winning by
you had a retaining by disqualification. I had Ronda Rousey to win. So by that logic, I think I was going to have Natalya win and then cash in and take the title off her.
Well, I know what I'm going to go for then.
Okay, what are you going to go for? A run-in by Jake the Snake Roberts.
No, well, why? Why the fuck would he run in? None of it... No, that was close. That was close.
We'll talk about it off air.
Yeah. Right, I am going for Lana.
Okay. Do you think she's just going to find herself at the top of the ladder and be like, oh? Yeah,
maybe, like, I don't know. Like, Ember Moon, we agree it's too soon, right? Charlotte Flair's not going to have the Money in the Bank because she's a good guy, and I don't think she should be carrying around the Money in the Bank.
No.
When she walks down to the ring, she's got her outfit, and, holding the briefcase as well would be ridiculous.
Yeah. There's too much going on with that outfit.
Alexa Bliss could win it. Yeah, Alexa Bliss could win it, but I've already said Nia is going to retain it, and I'm not going to watch another Alexa Bliss Nia Jax shit.
Yeah, but what happens if Alexa Bliss decides to go after the other championship?
Well, then she'd have to move to SmackDown, and Vince doesn't want that.
Why not?
Because Alexa Bliss is pretty, and all the pretty people stay on Raw.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You make a good point, sir.
I'm just thinking like Vince McMahon.
Oh, don't.
Say with Shinsuke Nakamura, it's like, say you don't speak English because you're Japanese.
I think if you spend too much time thinking about like Vince McMahon, then something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, I know. Right.
So
Becky Lynch is just queen of the nobodies right now.
Yeah, she's just sort of there to be the tag partner during those tag matches when they put together. Yeah.
I don't think Natalya is going to win it because why would Natalya win it if Ronda doesn't win the belt? Mm. Naomi already won the women's what is it? The
women's
the Fabulous Mullahs.
Oh yeah, Fabulous Moolah thing.
The I'll Pimp You Out Royal Rumble that they did at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Fabulous Moolah. That's it. She won the
inaugural women's battle royale.
Yes, and Sasha Banks, I just don't think is going to win because they don't like Sasha Banks anymore.
I feel like Sasha Banks is going to get taken down by the Riot Squad, and then Bayley will come out, and there'll be some contrived way that Sasha will be taken out of the match.
No, that's what's going to happen with Charlotte. Do you think the Iconics might beat up on Charlotte some more, Charlotte and Becky, and take them two out?
Maybe.
And then that's when Lana and Alexa Bliss climb the ladder. And then Lana goes, look over there, and then punts Alexa Bliss in the balls. Road Dogg's booking, folks.
Road Dogg's booking, yep.
No, I think Lana's going to win it, though. I think she'll win it by fluke. There'll be like 3 or 4 ladders involved or some crap, and Albdy's going to fall off at the same time, and Lana will be the only one up there.
No, that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
And then I think it's going to be Lana versus... Oh, I said Carmella by... something, didn't I?
Something like that.
So I think it'll be Lana versus Carmella. Oh, that's painful.
She might cash in and lose. Who knows?
That'd be good.
Or she might lose I'd like to see. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see people defending the Money in the Bank title matches.
Yeah.
When they used to do it, and people like when Kennedy had it and he lost to Edge because Kennedy was an idiot.
Or when John Cena screwed over Baron Corbin.
Screwed off Baron Corbin. Oh dear.
That's why he left Nikki.
It would explain certain things. Baron Corbin's not on the
not yet.
Not on the show.
Who's he feuding with?
I don't know.
Oh, I should know this.
He just sort of turns up and shouts at people for a while and then moves on.
Go back to OVW or whatever. Baron Corbin.
There's a couple of extra potential matches which could potentially turn up over the next couple of weeks before the pay-per-view. First one, there's no Intercontinental title match. It's looking like it's going to be Seth Rollins and Elias. Do we think that's going to happen? Do we think Elias will win? I think Seth Rollins will retain if that match happens.
I don't think Elias needs the title.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, I think Seth's winning it.
And the other potential match at the moment that I sort of have down here is the Raw Tag Team Championship, which is the Deleter of Worlds and versus the B Team, since that seems to be the direction they're going, as they feed yet another pointless tag team to a slightly less pointless tag team.
I think they need to get that belt off of those belts off of those two quick, because Bray Wyatt is just death. He
just ruins everything. I'd love to see like the Revival or a proper tag team just take the titles and just hold on to them for a while and actually show what quality. Like when the Revival were down in NXT, they were great because they genuinely were like difficult to beat. They were constantly pulling out wins through great tag team tactics. But I don't think you're ever going to see that in the main roster because I don't think the WWE see money in tag team titles.
Is Baron Corbin not feuding with Titus Worldwide?
Possibly.
Or is it Bobby Roode?
I think he's more feuding with Bobby Roode, but Bobby Roode's obviously in the match. I mean, maybe that's how Bobby Roode gets taken out of the men's ladder match, but who knows? He's got to get.
Yeah, that could be a point.
He's got to get on the show somehow, otherwise he's not getting paid.
Oh fuck no! It's No Way Jose.
Oh, no way, Jose. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because Baron Corbin has no sense of fun.
Okay, right. I think we figured that out then.
All right, cool. I think that's us. We've gone through the card. I mean, we've talked about what we want to see. We've talked about where we think some things are going to go with like the title match. Certainly, I think to what we think is going to be the title match at WrestleMania. Certainly for the WWE Championship. I think there's a lot of like this. It's very difficult to gauge at this point in the year. We've still got Rumble.
Yeah, it's the quiet spell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that whole point. Usually they just put the title on someone random and see what happens, like last year with Jinder.
Oh God, that was painful.
Whereas I feel like there's more people who could benefit from having a title run at the moment, like Shinsuke. Like I feel like that's almost what's going to happen with Shinsuke. He's going to pick up the title and sort of have the summer of Strong Style, which could be quite good. But like I said, I don't see the title coming off Brock unless it gets to SummerSlam.
Yeah,
because they want to take CM Punk off the history books. So
they hate him, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. But everything else is just sort of ticking over at the moment. I don't think certainly not any. The Daniel Bryan one's probably the most telegraphed storyline they've got going at the moment. But everything else, like
it just depends whether they put the belt on or not.
Who knows what's going to happen? There's Taker, there's Cena. Orton will be back at some point. Dean Ambrose might return, possibly doing whatever he does that people like. I don't see it myself.
It's that bouncy thing with the ropes. They love that.
Oh, yeah. Once is fine. Multiple times in a match, you start to learn.
Yeah. I mean, like I do it. Like, see when I see him wrestle live, I've seen him like a couple of times, and when he does it, you go, ooh, hey! But it's not like. It's not fun. It's not believable. You're just doing it. You're shouting because it's crowd participation.
It's a spot.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. It's not. It's like I don't know. It's one of those moves that I'm fine with it maybe once in a match, but when he starts doing it multiple times, okay. Yeah. Someone again. It's that whole like that someone would learn eventually that not to just stand there while he wobbles off.
Just grab his legs and then springboard him into the rope.
Yeah. Like there's got to be ways to do it. Right, cool. I think it's been great. We're just about to hit 2 hours, which is a bit longer than I was expecting.
And then we're gonna. Oh, there we go. It's gonna turn into a pumpkin shortly.
Yeah, cool.
Can I just give a quick message, right?
Okay, who are you talking to?
Well, I'm basically going to be talking about the pay-per-view, the show that I went to last week.
Yeah, okay. So that's one little anecdote to go home on.
Yeah, I don't want to
Then I'm going to
into
kick you out
great
of the cavern because I'm really tired.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I went to see Ring of Honor in Edinburgh a couple of days ago.
No, did you go down to Edinburgh or did you go up to Edinburgh?
Down.
That's correct, well done.
We went down to Edinburgh, me, Sanj, and Wittick, and we didn't know about the show until about a week before. And we didn't really know. We knew kind of like who half the people were going to be there. Cody was going to be there. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, the Ring of Honor champions with Dalton Castle. You had the Briscoes, but then there was Emma from WWE.
Oh yeah. Tennille.
Yeah, Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of Japanese New Japan guys Evil and Tanada. And there was Tanahashi as well, the Japanese John Cena.
Oh.
That was a real highlight for me. And there was Joe Hendry is a Scottish wrestler from Edinburgh. He's quite popular with ICW and stuff. He was there as well. He got a title shot. You know, the kind of local boy gets a title shot against Ric Flair type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, it was a good show. It was pretty cheap. I think it was £30 for a ticket. The seats were crap.
In terms of quality, or where you were sitting?
Where we were sitting, it was all just one level.
Okay, so it wasn't like you sort of sat down and went, and then you fell off.
Yeah.
Or that every time Sanj moved, he wobbled.
No, it was like dinner table seats.
Okay.
So we were 10 rows, and the people at the front of the row were paying £70. And the people at the back of the row were paying £30. But there was only about maybe less than 10 metres difference.
Okay.
So, you might as well just pay £30. And what we did was we stood up. And, we just stood there was a little concession bar type thing at the back.
Yeah.
We just stood there and watched the whole show standing up. And it was perfect because we got an unobstructed view for £30. And we were we could throw stuff into the ring. We were that close.
Okay.
But we didn't actually throw stuff into the ring.
No, that would put some people seriously off.
Yeah, it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got home that night because Sanj was driving. The only thing I can say is we're all wrestling fans here. There's if you're listening to this all the way through and you're not a wrestling fan, I'd be fucking surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is pretty niche, but like I said, one of the things about this podcast is we're going to cover a lot of random stuff.
Yeah.
We've talked about Marvel movies. We're now talking about wrestling. I have intentions to talk about running Dungeons and Dragons games because hashtag.
What, Skype Dungeons and Dragons?
Not Skype Dungeons and Dragons, but a friend of mine's currently running a D&D game in Edinburgh, and I've been helping him sort of with some of the logistics of it. And when we come up in July, we're arranging to come and join the game, and me and the missus are going to play the bad guys for a session, and we're going to basically go up against the party, and he's like, oh, this is amazing, and we're helping sort of develop story and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
There's lots of little bits and pieces. I think I don't get a chance to play D&D much down here.
You don't get a chance to do anything that much.
No, I got a mini kaiju. That's
a great name.
It describes him perfectly. We got him a little toy garage with some cars and whatever, and he just generally spends most of his time leaning on it and just hitting it with things. And was like, we go up so quickly. But yeah, no, like I said, we're going to try and cover some other bits and pieces. Like I said, I want to talk to some various people, and I said it's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on here, because I said I think I've really enjoyed chatting wrestling, and
it's been good.
We've really not even scratched the surface of some of the stories that we could tell. There's so many bits and pieces, going into the history of wrestling, going into the old stories. Our beginnings, yeah. I mean, I know when we come up in July, I really want to get together and do a little bit more of a deep dive into where we both came from wrestling, and then because obviously we sort of crossed over and watched quite a lot of pay-per-views together, and we went to shows together and all that sort of stuff, and it's yeah, I mean, there's fun stories to be had, and again, I'd love to hear from our listeners, or whatever listeners we have. The goal of this podcast is not to get a huge number of listeners, it's to create a community. Not everyone's going to want to listen to every episode because it might not be a target, but if there's an episode on there that someone goes, actually, yeah, that's really interesting, or I got an opinion on that, we'd love to hear what you guys think is going to happen at WrestleMania this year, what is going to happen at Money in the Bank. Did we get what you thought was going to happen in Money in the Bank?
I would just like to say I don't want to hear any of that shit.
That's
Keep
fine.
your opinions to yourself. I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. it's okay. You don't have to give an email address or a Twitter account. You can get in touch with. We are on Twitter. The Inside the Ogre Cavern podcast is at ITOC podcast, all one word. We also have an email address which I got wrong on episode 1. I gave it the wrong podcast.
Nobody's saying anything.
I know. Well, that's we've got an email account. It's at insidetheogrescavern@gmail.com. Not, as I previously said, Inside the Ogre's Cavern podcast @gmail.com. That is not a podcast email address. Don't email that address. Email the first one I gave out. You can also find other podcasts from our sibling podcast network on at FCPodNet, or you can find us at facebook.com/FCPodNet with the guys at the Buff Geek podcast or the guys at the AF podcast. If you want to listen to some stuff about NFL. I know you're a big NFL fan, Cheyn. Are you?
I am.
You still are?
I am, yes, very much so.
I know nothing about NFL, but I love listening to the guys because they talk and they laugh, and then clearly, like, I understand most of the words, but not in context.
I know those are words.
Those are all. I understand what these words mean individually, but put together, it's all nonsense to me. But they seem to enjoy what they're talking about, and they're very knowledgeable as far as I can see.
If you want to be an NFL fan, all you have to do is complain about how the NFL's sucking all the fun out of everything and hate the Patriots, and then you're laughing.
Okay, cool. I mean, the only thing I like, Tyrod Taylor. Is he a guy? Is he a thing?
I don't know. Hang on.
He's been mentioned on every podcast so far.
See, the thing is, though, Stu, those damn Patriots.
So yeah, I mean, go check them out. The guys are great fun. They made some predictions for this upcoming season. Apparently they're very bold. They could be, I don't know. They mentioned several names I recognised vaguely. It is a great podcast. They have a lot of fun. It's some great charisma. I love the guys over there. So do go check them out. I need to say thank you very much to Army of Freshmen for the intro music which they have so kindly let us use. Check them out at Army of Freshmen on Twitter. You can also listen to their podcast, Fresh Talk, where you get to listen to them talk about all sorts of stuff, movies, TV shows, touring, being a band, all that sort of stuff. And their music is also very awesome.
Fresh Talk from Fresh Men.
Fresh Talk from Fresh Men. I know. I mean, marketing. Isn't that? It's just marketing.
Yeah, that's cracking. I hope their artwork's just as good as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, they've been doing it a lot longer than we have.
I'm going to Google them now. Cause
you're going to Google them now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you should. I mean, this is what we want to do. We want to share the love, share the stuff. Get in touch with us. Tell us what you think. We're clearly going to be wrong with most of these predictions because I never get it right, including the time I called the main event of the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match by saying that Seth Rollins was going to come out, and then when it actually happened, I forgot that was going to happen.
Okay.
Do you remember the year that it was Brock?
Yeah, the 32. I've got it on Blu-ray, I think.
Yeah, and then Seth cashed in. I called that at 5 o'clock that night.
31. It was 31.
Yeah,
did you really?
I did. Remember, we were talking about it. We were on the way to the buffet, and I was like, "Oh, I reckon this is going to happen." And then when we got to the show, and we were all predicting it, I completely forgot that's what I said.
Fuck, was I watching that with you?
Yeah. It was. We were all around at Wittick's.
Oh, that RKO though.
Oh yeah, that RKO.
Oh, that was a belter. Did I not jump up for that?
You got very excited.
Oh man, I got hard.
You nearly knocked all the Krispy Kreme over.
Yeah. Oh man, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. Right, so I'm gonna call this now because it's getting really late.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've wasted another 10 minutes of your life.
Dude, talking to you is never a waste.
Oh, thanks, man.
Also, before we go, Cheyn has a bunch of podcasts that are up on YouTube. Go check them out.
Oh, you bitch! Don't tell them.
Check out Google. Just search for Cheyncast. You'll listen to them. It is a great listen. Cheyn, you are an inspiration to the podcasts.
Oh, thank
you are
you, man.
immensely listenable, immensely knowledgeable about what the stuff you talk about, and that's one of the reasons I really want to have you on the podcast.
Oh, that's
I'm
really
glad
nice.
you joined me.
Can I just add a little note as well? That like
you still don't want to hear the rest.
Like I'm so glad you've invited me on this because you are very good at this, dude. You really are. You're professional. You set things up properly. It's been a breeze. Being on a guest on your show is so easy and it's great fun. I've really enjoyed it, and the 2 hours have just kind of flown by.
Absolutely. Right.
Also, I'd like to say support your local indie wrestling because if we don't have that, then we'll have to put up with WWE all the time.
Exactly. I think we're starting to see with the likes of New Japan and Ring of Honor and all that there are other alternatives out there.
Absolutely.
And I wish I had the time to see more of the other shows. I just don't. But at this point, it is coming up towards 20 to midnight. I'm tired. You're tired. We've had a great show. I've got to edit this at some point. So, Cheyn, it's been great having you in the cavern, but get the fuck out.
Yes!
Thanks for listening, guys. You can catch me on Twitter at Barg the Ogre. Thanks for listening if you're still listening at this point, you crazy sons of bitches. And we'll see you down the road for another episode of Inside the Ogre's Cavern. Catch you later. Have a nice night.